Hello friends, welcome back to the series where I teach you how to master your Cricut in 10 easy projects. Today's video is project number 7. And this project is frankly going to be my most favorite project out of the entire series. The reason for that is because this particular project was a project that I learned how to make when I very first got my Cricut 12 years ago. And 12 years ago when I first got my Cricut, I also opened up my own Etsy shop and put this item inside my Etsy shop, and it quickly became a bestseller, and I made so much money making this project. Now, the other cool thing on top of making a whole lot of money is that there's a lot of profit in this item because truly you only need a single sheet of cardstock. I'm going to be making this project two ways, so I actually have two different colors of cardstock, but really you only need one, and you can fit a lot of this project on one sheet. There are a couple supplies that you're going to need from the craft store, and they're not expensive at all. For me, because I'm creating this project two different ways, I have two different colors of tulle, a pink and a white. That just goes with what I'm creating today. And because I'm creating this project two different ways and two different colors, I also have two different styles of ribbon. This just matches everything else, and we are going to be able to hide the ugly with this. Now, in every single Cricut, you get a Cricut pen. You're going to want to bust that out today because we are going to use the Cricut pen with our pieces of cardstock, the tulle, and the ribbon, and create the most fabulous princess dress invitations. We are on the party train right now. We have the birthday banner, we have the cake topper. Now we need to invite our people to our birthday party, and that's to make invitations. And I'm telling you right now, when you get done with these invitations, you are gonna be addicted to making birthday invitations on your Cricut because it's gonna be easy, it's gonna be simple, and you're gonna be able to make a whole lot of them on one single sheet of cardstock. And if you do plan on selling them, the profit is huge. All right, are you ready to go to the design process and then figure out how in the world I'm gonna turn a plain piece of cardstock into the most beautiful Cinderella dress invitation that you will possibly lay your eyes on? Are you ready? Let's go. Okie dokie, crafty friends. The very first thing you want to do is open up a blank window in Cricut Design Space, and we are going to add in a new project. Then what you want to do is look for a dress cutout for your invitation. So we are going to go over here into images, and we are going to search all images, and I am just going to put in dress right here and press return. Now, for this particular invitation, I want it to kind of resemble like a Cinderella dress or a Sleeping Beauty dress. So the very first one that I see is a image here by the Salty Yankee, and this right here looks like the most gorgeous type of ball gown dress that I would think that Cinderella is wearing. So I am just going to press this plus sign and then press view. Now, this particular image, if you come over here to this caret and you drop it down, you're going to see that it has a couple different layers. I don't need a couple different layers because I am going to add in the tulle and the ribbon to make it more 3D. So what I am going to do is right click on this and press ungroup. Now what we want to do is this layer right here, we're just going to move this over and we are going to delete it because we don't need it. This right here is going to be what is our invitation. Now what you want to do is taking the envelope that you're going to be using for your invitations, and you want to go over here to shapes, and we are going to click this square. Now what you want to do is unlock this right here, and we are going to change this square over to the size of envelopes that you are going to be using. So for me, my envelopes are 5.5 inches wide by 4.25 inches in height. So for this, I'm going to do 4.2 inches wide, and my height is 5.5 inches tall. And then I'm just going to press return. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to operation, and I'm just going to change this from a basic cut over to a guide. Then what I'm going to do is selecting this guide, I'm going to arrange this to the back. Now what I want to do is I'm going to resize my dress to fit inside my box. The reason for that is because I want to make sure my invitations fit inside the envelopes that I'm going to be using. If your dress fits inside the box, That means that your invitation will fit inside your envelope that you're going to be using. If it doesn't, then it won't fit and you're going to have to get different envelopes. Okay, when you're done doing that, you can just take your dress and move it outside the box. Now, generally, I would tell you that we can delete this guide because we don't need it anymore. However, we are going to use this in a little bit, so you just want to hold on to it, but we're not going to use this for any time soon. Now what you want to do is insert your texts onto your dress. So this right here is going to be my invitation. What I want to do now is press this text box. Now for this project, I said we were only going to be using the Cricut pens. So what you want to do is come up here to operation, and we are going to change this from a cut to a pen. Now what I want to do is add in the text that I'm going to be using for my invitation. I am only going to do the very top portion of my invitation wording, and that's going to be, "You're cordially invited to the royal celebration of Ashley Falco." Now you will notice that my letters look like bubble letters. And if we were to keep it just like this, your finished product will also have bubble letters. I frankly do not like bubble letters, so I'm going to come up here into font, and I am going to come over here to the right, and I am going to go into a writing font. This is going to give you single line fonts that don't look like bubbles. Now for the very top portion of my invitation, I want to use like a script font because I think that just kind of gives the vibe of like a royal celebration. So for this one, I'm going to use the DTC Cottage Style, and I'm just going to click out of that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on top of my invitation background. So just like this. So I actually have now decided that I want my name, although I love that my name is in the script, I want my name to be larger than everything else just so it stands out. So instead of creating a whole new text box and having to do a whole lot of adjustments, what I'm going to do is come up here to advanced, and I'm going to ungroup the lines. So every single one of your lines is now its individual text box. I'm going to come down here to my name, and I'm just going to make this larger so it stands out a little bit more, you know? It's okay if everything is not centered because we are going to fix that here in a second. But now what I want to do is add in the information of how we're going to get our people here. You know, the date, the time, the place, who to RSVP to. So I am going to insert another text box, and I'm going to insert all of my party information inside this text box. Now what I want to do is use a different font for this. I love mixing and matching different fonts with my invitations because it just gives it a little bit more pizzazz. So I'm going to come up here into font. I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to find a more easier legible font that kind of goes with the script font. Okay, once you've chosen the font that you want to use, I'm using Everyday Fonts. A is for Alice. It's a Cricut Access font. I'm going to click out of that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to resize this, and I'm going to place this onto the bottom of my invitation. Now it looks like it's going to be really weird, so I'm just going to double click this, and I'm going to adjust my text a little bit to where it'll fit nicely in the entire invitation. I think this looks a lot better than how it was arranged before. Now, once you're satisfied with the look of this, what you want to do is make sure everything is centered. So we are going to select all of this, and we are going to align this horizontally. And you can see that my name and a couple of the lines shifted a little bit. That's exactly why we wanted to make sure and center horizontally, because we want to make sure that our writing is completely center onto our dress cutout. Okay, now what I want you to do, because I'm assuming that you're going to want to use this for future projects, what you want to do now is save your work. The reason why I did that is because now when you go to make this invitation for another event or another time, you're going to be able to start from here versus starting from the very beginning where we had to look for the dress, resize the dress, all that stuff. So this right here is going to be what you would load in next time. And then all you would need to do is like change the name and the date and time, etc. Now what we want to do is selecting our total invitation. You're going to select the dress. You're going to select all the lettering. You're going to come down here and you're going to press attach. The reason why we did that is because we now just told the Cricut that I want to not only cut this dress out, I want to also put the writing onto our dress cutout. Had you not done that, just like in the gift tag that we made previously, if you were to press make, you would end up getting something that looks like this, where everything that you have is not on the dress. So if your screen does not have the font onto your dress cutout, we've messed up here, right? So we want to make sure and press attach, because now we're going to go to make, and you only have one mat and your writing is on your dress. We still have one more step to do, and that is to fill up your 12-inch cardstock that you have on hand. The reason why I like doing it this way is because if you go to make, and let's say you want to make 12 of these, you would just come over here to project copies and press apply. And what's going to happen is Cricut is going to tell you that you need 3 different mats. However, I know that I can get a lot more copies on one mat. Now, doing it this way is time consuming, especially if you are going to be making a ton of these. So what I like to do is taking our guide, I'm going to switch this over, unlock this. You want to switch this over to 11.5 to 11.5. Yes, we do have 12-inch cardstock. However, when you're working with a Cricut, they have borders, and the largest that you can cut technically for the Cricut is 11.5. So we just want to create this square to be 11.5. Now what you want to do is select your dress, your first dress invitation. We're going to put this in the top left. We are going to copy and paste, Command C, Command V. Then what we're going to do is we are going to come over here, and you're going to want to curve this where you can see where this right here would be resizing. We don't want to resize. We want to curve this because I'm going to turn this upside down. We're going to do this 180 degrees, and I'm going to put this over here. Now what I'm going to do is selecting this one right here. I'm going to copy and paste, and I'm going to drag this over here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all 3 of these dresses. I'm going to copy and paste again, and I'm going to drag these down here. Just like what we did with the envelope, if it fits inside this box, it's going to fit onto the Cricut mat. So all 6 of these dresses fit on the Cricut mat. Now what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to select my guide, and now I'm going to delete it because I don't need it. Now we know that 6 are going to be on a page, correct? If we were to press make, what's going to happen is the Cricut is going to rearrange them just like this, just like how they had before. What we want to do is we want to tell the Cricut, hey, we've set this up. We want to cut and marker it just like we have it on our design screen. So what we want to do is select all 6 dresses and all the stuff. So everything on the right should be selected. We want to come press attach. Now what we just told the Cricut is we're going to create 6 dresses, and we are going to do the writing on all 6 of those dresses individually. Now what you can do is you can press make, and you are going to be left with one single sheet of 12-inch cardstock, and you are going to be able to put 6 invitations on one sheet of cardstock. This is amazing. Now what we need to do is go to our Cricuts and set it up. Setup for this process is really easy. You just want to grab one of your Cricut mats, and you are going to need one piece of your cardstock. Let's do the periwinkle blue found in my cardstock warehouse first. I'm going to load this into my Cricut mat. Now I'm going to open up my Cricut, and I'm going to insert this into my Cricut. Now you are going to need your Cricut pen for this project, and you want to put it inside A, just like what we did with our gift tags that we created earlier. And we are going to insert this into our machine until you hear a click. Then what you want to do is shut the clamp. Since I'm using my plain cardstock found in my cardstock warehouse, I am going to do cardstock mode, and then I'm going to press fast mode on my Cricut, and I'm just going to press the blinking C button. Okay, so our first mat is done, and didn't this just turn out so stinking cute? So I'm just going to eject this, and we're going to take out our invitations. Oh my gosh, these turned out absolutely fabulous. Now, if your mat is too sticky, all you want to do is turn this around and roll your invitations away from your mat so you don't break the fibers in your cardstock, leaving them nice and flat. Okay, when you're done creating your invitations, what you want to do is make sure and take out your pen and put the lid on it, because you do not want to dry out your pen. The next thing you want to do is plug in your hot glue gun. Make sure it's nice and hot because it's the only glue that we're going to be using. That being said, I love my hot glue gun because it's adjustable heat tab, so I'm not going to burn and blister my fingertips. Now what you want to do is grab your tool that you're going to be using and your ribbon. You're also going to need some scissors, and I'm going to do the cute little pink one first. This right here, doesn't this invitation just scream Sleeping Beauty to you? I love the pink, and then we are going to pair it with this gold right here, which just makes it even cuter. You know what I mean? Okay, so I'm going to use light pink tulle for my pink dress, and I'm just going to fluff this out a little bit. Okay, what I like to do is taking the end of my tool, and I just like to pinch it in so it kind of meets at a point at the very tip, just like this. And what you want to do is you want to put hot glue down right here, the very base of where the corset meets the dress. So we are going to take our hot glue, and we are just going to take a bead of glue down our dress. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take our topper of our tool, and we are going to press this into the hot glue. And this is why I love my heat gun, because I am not screaming and playing because I am touching that hot glue. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fluff this out just a little bit, and I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to trim on the bottom of my tool. Isn't this so cute? So cute, so cute. Now if you wanted to get real fancy, make it look real cute on the end, you totally can. The great thing about tulle is it won't fray and look weird. You just want to make sure you have like a nice clean look. Isn't this so cute? However, we can still see some ugly right here, right? So this is where the ribbon comes into play, and this is why you don't need a whole lot of ribbon. Is I'm going to cover this ugly little bead of glue here. So you're going to add another bead of glue over the top of where you put that initial glue line at. You don't need a whole lot of glue, just like that. Then what you're going to do is taking your end of your ribbon, and let's just put it over the top of your glue. Okay, now what you want to do is flip this over, and we want to take our scissors and we want to cut our ribbon off, but we want to cut it real close to the edge of our dress cutout. And we're going to do the same side with this, same with this side. We're just going to make it real tight and cute. All right, now ready? Flip this over. Isn't this absolutely darling? So cute. You could make these for wedding showers too. I've made them a couple times for wedding showers using white dresses with tulle. The possibilities are endless, but I absolutely love the finished product. So when it comes to a Cinderella dress, because this to me screams Sleeping Beauty, so when it comes to a Cinderella dress, I liked using my periwinkle blue plain cardstock, but I am going to use like a couple different layers of tulle. Doing the same type of concept, I am just going to pinch the tops in. I like these nice and full. So this one, I'm gonna pinch the tops just like this. I have 3 strings of tulle right here. Doing the same thing we did earlier, we are just gonna put a bead of glue down where the corset meets the dress bottom. Don't need a whole lot. Add in your pinch tool to the top. Pressing down. Okay, and then I am going to cut the ends off of my tool, and you kind of want to fluff this up so it doesn't look like individual pieces. Okay, then for my Cinderella dress, I'm going to use this ribbon right here. I get these at Michael's. And doing the same thing, we are going to take some glue. We're going to cover the top of our original glue line. Add in our ribbon, okay? Flipping this over, and we just want to trim our ribbon. And look at our finished invitation. Doesn't this look phenomenal? Flat piece of cardstock that we turned into a 3D, absolutely beautiful birthday invitation. Oh my goodness. And if you made your size correctly, here is your envelope. You're going to be able to fit this inside your envelope without any issues. You could even do like a cute little wax seal stamp and make this real royal and real fancy. Did you have so much fun creating these invitations? I sure hope you did, and I sure hope that you learned a whole lot just from one video. I do have to say, making these invitations just brings me so much joy and happiness because they end up being so stinking cute, and we only needed 1 sheet of cardstock to make 6, which is amazing. Now, I need to do a climate check. We are done with project 7. What project so far has been your favorite? For me, I know for sure it's these invitations, but maybe in project 8, my opinion will change. Who knows? I need to know what your opinions are. I sure hope that you're learning so much from this series and that you are feeling like you are becoming a Cricut expert, because I can tell you, if you have been able to make every single one of these projects, you have it in you. You can do this. You can become a Cricut expert. All right, y'all, I sure hope I inspired you to create today, and I will see you in video 8 of this series of 10 easy projects to master your Cricut.